Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to explore.
Awesome. So today we're tackling a topic that's been buzzing in the energy sector, and that's how oil and gas is going digital.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating how technology is shaking things up, even in an industry known for, well, let's just say, more traditional approaches.
Totally. And we've got some great material to dig into today. We're looking at a data sheet from a company called Siga. So the big question we're going to try to answer today is, what's the big deal with going digital in oil and gas? What are the real benefits? I mean, everyone talks about digital transformation, but what does that actually look like on the ground, in the field, in these massive operations?
Right, because it's one thing to say digital transformation and another to actually see it in action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe we can start by laying out the context here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the oil and gas industry faces a lot of challenges. It's a tough business.
Definitely not for the faint of heart.
No, not at all. They're dealing with increasingly complex machinery, a shortage of skilled workers, and then you've got volatile global markets. It's a lot to juggle.
So how does the whole digital thing play into all of this?
Well, that's the interesting part. You'd think in this day and age, everything would be digital, right? Streamlined, efficient.
Makes sense, yeah.
But the reality is a lot of companies still rely heavily on, get this, paper-based processes.
Really? Still paper.
It's crazy, right? We're talking work orders, scheduling, even invoicing. I mean, imagine trying to run a marathon with weights strapped to your ankles. That's kind of what it's like.
Wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. So Siga comes in and says, hey, we've got these digital solutions that can solve these problems.
They're focusing a lot on maintenance operations, which is where they see a huge opportunity for improvement.
They're talking about reduced operating costs, giving technicians more actual wrench time, and better data capture so companies can make smarter decisions.
All good things for sure. But, switching to a whole new system, it does make you think about the costs.
Like, what's the upfront investment like?
Yeah, and is it worth it? Those are valid questions. But Siga makes a good point. They argue that those paper-based inefficiencies are already costing companies a ton of money.
Lost productivity, downtime, errors.
Exactly. So it's almost like ripping off that old Band-Aid and investing in a long-term solution.
Okay, I'm following you. So less of a new expense and more of a shift in spending.
Right, exactly. And another thing Siga highlights is that their solutions are designed to work seamlessly with existing SAP systems.
SAP.
Yeah, it's like this leading enterprise resource planning software. It's used by a ton of big companies.
Right, I've heard of it.
So being able to integrate with SAP, it's crucial. Companies can build on what they already have instead of starting from scratch.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Siga breaks down their impact into 4 key areas.
Sounds good. Let's hear it.
First up is maximizing equipment uptime.
Keeping those machines humming.
So how does going digital actually achieve that?
Okay, imagine a GPS for maintenance.
Okay.
Siga's solution, make sure the right technician with the right knowledge, the right tools, everything is sent to the right location. And not just quickly, but efficiently.
So they're not wasting time going back and forth for parts or information.
Exactly. The technician can fix the problem correctly the first time.
Minimize downtime, prevent repeat visits, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Then you've got smarter scheduling.
That sounds like it could be a game changer, especially with so many moving parts in oil and gas operations.
Totally. It's like taking a chaotic puzzle and putting all the pieces in order.
So walk me through it. How does it work?
Okay, so they automate a lot of the tasks. Things like checking if technicians are available, assigning resources, figuring out which work orders should be done first. They even use real-time data from the SAP system to make the best decisions.
What kind of data are we talking about?
Stuff like equipment sensor data, historical maintenance records, you name it. And get this, they even have algorithms that analyze this data to predict potential equipment failures.
So instead of reacting to breakdowns, companies can fix things before they break.
Precisely. That's proactive maintenance. Save time, save money, and avoid a whole lot of stress.
Sounds like a win-win.
Right. So next up is streamlining work order management.
Okay, and this is where their mobile solution comes in, the one we touched on earlier.
Yep. Remember how we talked about technicians digging through piles of paper?
Yeah, that didn't sound very fun.
Well, with Siga's mobile app, all that information is right there on their phone or tablet.
So they can access everything they need right there in the field.
Exactly. Send notifications, look up equipment manuals, check if parts are available, even use digital checklists to make sure they're following the right procedures.
It's like a mini maintenance command center in their pocket.
Mm.
But what if they're in a remote area with spotty internet?
That's a great question, and it's where SIGA's offline capabilities come in. The mobile app works both online and offline.
So they can still capture data, do their work, even without a connection.
Exactly. Then everything syncs up automatically when they're back online. It's super practical, especially for an industry that often works in some pretty remote and tough environments.
Absolutely. And SIGA points out that all this data they're collecting is not just about efficiency, it helps with billing reconciliation and improves compliance.
Right, which is crucial in a highly regulated industry like oil and gas.
Okay, so everything sounds amazing so far, but let's talk real-world results. Are companies actually seeing a difference when they implement SIGA's solutions?
The numbers are pretty impressive. We're talking about a 30% reduction in downtime and 82% reduction in administrative costs.
Wow, those are some significant improvements.
Right. And there's more. They've seen a 21% increase in inspector productivity and a 24.5% reduction in those annoying breakdown repairs.
Seems like SIGA's putting their money where their mouth is.
And, SIGA even quotes McKinsey and Company, and they're like this big deal consulting firm.
Right, McKinsey. I know them.
They said digital workflows and predictive maintenance could reduce downtime in oil and gas by as much as 30%. So the potential is huge.
Okay, so if companies can save money, increase efficiency, and improve safety, why wouldn't everyone jump on board with digital transformation?
That's the million-dollar question. Is it just resistance to change? Are companies worried about cybersecurity? Maybe they just don't fully understand how much they could benefit.
It really makes you think, what will the oil and gas industry look like in 10, 20 years?
Right. How is all this technology going to shape the future of energy?
That's something for everyone listening to ponder.
Definitely food for thought.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the digital transformation of oil and gas. Thanks for joining us.
See you then.